Here's where we're at, everyone. Pardon the mess that this has become, but here's where we're standing so far. I have the old gasoline tank out and our diesel fuel tank sitting right here. I got some of our fuel figured out. Let me zoom in a bit. I have a return line coming off of our P-pump that comes around here, comes into this T. Also, our injector bleeder is coming off to this T, and our return line is gonna go right in here. Now this rubber line here is only here temporarily for our fuel pump, which you see down there. I'm gonna run a hard line up and get supported off of this bolt, come down and around and hook up to our P-pump. I made a new side panel that goes on the side here. Yes, my gaps are not consistent, but well, looks good enough to me. So I have our basket laid down, and I took off the rear light bracket so I can figure out how I'm running my two lines. I'm thinking I'm gonna have my high pressure fuel in coming this way, fuel out, which is our return, is gonna come up, come forward, wrap around the tank, and meet up at the top as I kick our carrier. It's gonna come from underneath, up, over, and in. So I gotta match this radius, and they're both gonna come out right in here. Then it's gonna make a 90 and run parallel with our fuel line, which is gonna have a valve on it, so fuel filter changes will be easier. Which is gonna come up to our pressure, low pressure pump, then it's gonna come through and back. So everyone should be happy. Then we can start working on, well, we have a throttle, but I'm gonna do some adjustments for that. And after that, we just have to figure out our decompression, figure out how to actuate that. And then we just got tin work, which surprisingly on our list of stuff left to do, engine controls we're working on, side cover, it's marked off. So all we have are our engine controls, fuel system, and hood, which I'm gonna put in parentheses, tin work. So we're getting there. And with only a few months until planting season and plow day, we got to get our butts in gear and get this girl done. Alrighty, so we're gonna go on and show you guys how I'm making up the hard lines for this diesel. We're using 1/4 inch steel brake line. I have a tool for making up brake lines for vehicles, and it's quite simple to use. We're going to select our correct size die. We're going to run our tube up till it touches this face, flick the handle. That sets you at your correct depth. We're going to tighten it. We're going to rotate to our desired size. Then we're just going to simply push it make sure we're in all the way. Then take it loose, pull, flip, oh wait a minute, lift, wiggle, then pull, flip, remove, boom. We now have a lip where a rubber hose will go over and bite on and not come off. Short and simple. All right, so the mess continues. We got the fuel tank sitting in here. I'm gonna bring this is our return, by the way. It's gonna come down, bend, and then bend under here, and I'm gonna modify the tank for the line to go underneath. Let me get underneath. I put the tractor up on blocks to kind of give myself some more room. We'll just slide under here. Then, because this is our suction line, comes in to a valve, which will be used for shutting off our fuel filter, and it goes back to a hard line. It goes up to our fuel pump, which you can see right there. And then from there, it's gonna I'm gonna try maybe 45 in it up there. We'll crawl out. And we'll come back around the tractor. My end goal is to try to come from that little rubber line there, between the starter and the case, come up through here, then up, over, down, where it's going to get supported by this, down, 45, then maybe 90, then 90, into this. Then we'll have our suction line taken care of. The reason why I'm going up and over the engine instead of around the engine is space. Try to cut down the space, as much space usage, because there's belts and controls that run through there. Easier to come up through here. And as you can see, I need to go and get some more hose clamps, but our return comes out over, comes out, well, 90s off of this, 90s off of this. There's a slight bend where this hose clamp is going to be. Comes around, let me move my rag, comes around 15, 15, or wherever this angle is, to come to this block, which this is tight, and I'm going to weld a little bracket or something to help hold it right here. And then from here, it's going to come down, out, underneath, up to the tank. And we also have our injector tied in to a 15, another 15, and a 90, which brought it right into place. Now these are bubble flared to keep the line in place under pressure. I mean, it's a return line, so there's not a lot of pressure, but there is still pressure. Everything's getting bubble fitting to make it nice and secure. So I'm going to call it a night. I got some stickers to make. I'm going to make a sticker for here. And then maybe something to stick here. I don't know. It's late. So, adios for now. Alrighty. Made up our return line. Tank's just sitting in there right now, but this is our return. Talk about pain in the butt. You can kind of see how both lines are fighting for space in there. Might actually have to go in there and cut that a little bit, but I really hope I don't have to. But they're both running up under here. I'm thinking I'm going to have this as a permanent setup. Just to make it easy on myself. You can see I returned the snakes right in here. Fuel pump was never tightened down enough, so oh well. But our return comes up right in front of the starter and ties in. Again, gotta make the bracket to hold that. I got those clamped. This is gonna get moved more like right in here. It's gonna come up and over, snake around right there. So on the wiring side, we just got our headlights to figure out, and we're off to doing tin work. So that means we're gonna make our block here. We're gonna remake this. I might cut this here to make it easier. Clamp this in place. Still need to figure out how on God's green earth we're gonna do our decompression. Let me just push, yeah. So I gotta figure out our decompression. Which most likely it's gonna be a bracket. Comes off here and supports off of this. I'll hold this here and I'll machine something that'll pull this down and all that. Belt's on. Clutch assembly needs a little work. But this is where we're at so far. Appreciate y'all following me along on this. So go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring that bell for more Sears Suburban updates. And adios for now.